You're damn right, Bob Sapp. Word on the Street podcast coming to you live. It is Tuesday, August the 12th, the year 2014 AC after Chael, as always. We'll get right to the show here. We're going to be talking about John Jones, of course, the breaking news earlier today, which I actually broke a full week ago. John Jones was injured and has pulled out of the scheduled fight. The bout with Daniel Cormier is now on for January 3rd or something. It's not happening this year. It's happening next year, all right, people. We're not going to see that fight till next year. Also, of course, the hunt for War Machine continues. I made a plea on the MMA podcast last night. I begged War Machine to take his own life and kill himself and do everybody the favor. Apparently, he has not done so. So now he's got another problem. He's got the dog, the bounty hunter, after him, apparently. I don't know if this is a work or not, as far as a dog actually being on the ground there, like looking for him. I don't know. But we'll talk about that in just a second. And there's another topic. We'll talk about Chael Sonnen at Metamoris 4 this past weekend. Still undefeated, as always. But with me, producing the show, co-hosting, holding this thing all together. He is none other than a close personal friend of mine. Saved my life multiple times. He is Jake from the MMA podcast. Jake, what do you hear? What do you say?
Ramses, you could say I'm feeling and looking wonderful. Last night on the MMA podcast, we celebrated our 100th episode, and I'm tired of acting humble. Ramses, I am wonderful. It must be an honor for you to have me on tonight.
It is. It is an honor.
Follow us on Twitter at the MMA Podcast, or visit themmapodcast.com to be a part of something wonderful.
100th episode of the show. I was on live last night. It happened. I was there, people. It was a great show. One for the ages. We'll tweet out links a little bit later on tonight. But yeah, follow him on Twitter, the MMA Podcast. He's got that. He's also got themmapodcast.com. He owns that domain. He snatched it up like a thief in the night.
Yeah, I bought it in 2012. I was super shocked that was available.
You'll sell that for some good coins someday. Hopefully after a successful run here, and we're both long dead and buried. Also, last but not least at all, he is none other than another co-host, good friend to everybody, Team Sonnen coach, multiple tough season winners. He was a part of that. He's coaching boxing for notable MMA fighters. He's been all over the planet. He's working, I believe, he'll have to give us an update at Extreme Couture Gym right now, along with you name it. He's traveling all over the place. It's nuts, man. He is none other than the living legend himself, Coach Jamie Huey. How are you doing, Coach?
I am outstanding. I'm wonderful, in the words of Jake.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Welcome, man. Good to have you, man. Are you still at Extreme Couture, or was that a brief stint? What's happening real quick?
No, I am. I'm here in Las Vegas, currently coaching at Extreme Couture. I am there right now 5 days a week. Some of I'm covering for boxing coach. Shout out to Tim Lane, who coaches a fighter by the name of Chris Algieri, who's getting ready to fight Manny Pacquiao for the title in China. So
nice.
So this goes out to anybody in Las Vegas or even around the world. Because everybody does come to Vegas. If next time you come to Vegas, I know you're going to get in the booze. You're going to get into probably the strip clubs and spending all your money gambling and all the other crazy stuff that happens here in Vegas. But hit me up on my Twitter at Coach Jamie Huey, or my email is coachjamiehuey@gmail.com. and in between the drunken booze sessions, stop in on a Saturday, do a boxing private or drop in here at the gym. And they're great coaches. Eric Nixick, the GM, Robert Follis, one of the original MMA coaches in the business, that we've had on the podcast. And Dennis Davis is the head coach down there, and nothing but talent down there. So if you're in the Vegas area, get a hold of us, hit me up on Twitter, and stop by the gym.
Hell yeah, people. Extreme Code Tour. Ask for Coach Jamie Huey. Learn from the best. Change your life. You got to do it, people. Excuse me. Pardon me. Anyway, by the way, program note, Coach Jamie Huey, of course, already said he was in Las Vegas. Jake from the MMA podcast is broadcasting from Denver, Colorado, and I am in Austin, Texas. And we're all brought together for one purpose here, to talk MMA. So let's do it.
I also did want to make a quick point.
More bullshit.
A little bit more. iTunes isn't uploading our podcast this past week. I actually use a different podcast app called Downcast, and that is getting it. So I know Podomatic, what we use to upload the podcasts, are working, and they're clicking on third-party apps, but not iTunes for some reason. So honestly, if you're using the podcasts app, throw it away because it sucked. I don't use it because it would just stop shows a ton. I use something called Downcast, but you always can listen to us on YouTube, the channels we post all the time. Listen to the live archive shows on Ustream. Tons of ways to listen to it.
Excellent. That was not bullshit. That was useful information, people. Let's talk about what happened this weekend, though, before we get to the Jones and, of course, the the War Machine manhunt, as ridiculous as that is. This weekend at Metamoris 4, did any of you gentlemen watch it? Jake, did you see Chael Sonnen take on Andre Galvao? Did you see Vinny Magalhães take on Keenan Cornelius? And, the Josh Barnett, he gave me some heat. I almost had a Twitter beef with Josh Barnett. But, Jake, did you watch it? What'd you think, man?
Yeah. Keenan versus Vinny was a lot of fun. So was Glover versus Yoshida. Josh Barnett stunning the world. No one thought he'd tap Dean Lister, a guy who hadn't tapped in 16 years. And Chael, a lot of people are giving him a lot of shit, but the guy held in there and survived for 13 minutes against, in my opinion, the greatest Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner in the world currently. So props to Chael, props to Josh, and props to all of those who competed at Metamoris 4.
Coach Jamie Huey, of course, Chael Sonnen's a good friend of yours, teammates. Did you, but you're a busy man, did you have the time to watch a jiu-jitsu pay-per-view match online? Have you seen the match yet? What's your take, if any?
I gotta be honest, I didn't. We had two guys from Extreme Couture fighting over at the World Series of Fighting over at the Hard Rock. So I went over to support the guys. And not to mention, apparently they wouldn't let Front Row Brian in, and I got to support my guy. So if they're not letting him in, then I had to boycott the pay-per-view. So I went over to Ray Cefo's World Series of Fighting, watched an amazing show, some great competitive fights over there. And I didn't catch it, but I imagine somebody will tweet a link or something. I'd like to catch it. I'm not completely privy to the whole jiu-jitsu thing. It's still I mean, from being around the MMA guys, but I definitely, obviously, anytime Chael's competing, I'm going to support it. So I was there in spirit.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun match to watch. Chael was, in my opinion, in the dominant position for the majority of the match. But some people would argue that Galvao was just pulling guard, letting Chael sit in his guard. that's how some people play. They call it playing. Who knows? He did get unfortunately submitted, but he made the walk like he said he would. They tried to stop him from competing. Who knows if he'll actually end up with a $250 to $500,000 fine because of the fact that he made the walk. But he did it for the fans. He did it for himself. He stood there once again in the ring, toe to toe, and said, "I am." He is a man of his word. All right, people. He's back. You couldn't keep him away too long. He's already back. And actually, yesterday we saw Chael Sonnen on the WWE. He was at the live taping and broadcast of Raw last night at Hulk Hogan's birthday celebration. It was awesome. Maybe they can work something out there. He is currently looking for work. Wish him nothing but the best. But yeah, Coach, I bought the Metamoris pay-per-view, of course, supporting Chael. Even though they did screw Front Row Brian over, shout out to our friend, they did kick him out, even though he paid for a flight, had a ticket, was an invited guest of the main eventer, Chael Sonnen. And they kicked him out for
and apparently treated him like shit. It wasn't a, hey, would you please leave? Like Brian said, the lady was talking to him like a child.
It was pathetic. It was disgusting. Here's how funny the internet is. I just had somebody on my Twitter just tweet me the whole Metamoris fight. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What I was going
I'll get to watch it after this. But
what a nice guy.
How the internet works, right? It's like I made one comment and within 10 seconds I got a link to the whole thing. So yeah, shout out to my Twitter follower. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah. Friends, listeners, gotta love it. The show continues to build people. We are, even though we've probably done the Word in the Street for over a year now, over 100 episodes deep, we're still building. But we appreciate anybody listening to this right now. Hopefully you'll stick around and you give us another chance. But yeah, Coach.
Well, when you get 25,000 listeners like we've been getting on, I mean,
damn right
there, obviously somebody's going to have the link. So that was cool.
I got to say, yes, podcasting, man, it's an animal. You never know what's going to happen on which show, what's going to pop, what people are going to dig, what they're not. But no, we've had some successful shows. I got to say, we are the #1 MMA podcast in our time slot. I can guarantee you that. Oh, what I was gonna say is I got the Metamoris pay-per-view. I was just gonna share the login with you if you want to watch it in full HD quality. I'll send that your way too, Coach. So now you got an option. If the YouTube video doesn't look, I mean, you want to watch fights in HD. Who doesn't, people? But yeah, I hopefully Chael, this wasn't a one and done. I actually liked seeing him compete in a non-MMA event. I hope he keeps it up. I mean,
he did
that he can't.
He did call out Anderson the Spider Silva.
That is true. Anderson Silva was actually there watching the match in person, but I don't remember exactly what he said. He had a good post-fight speech, though.
I might have it ready to play in like 10 seconds.
God bless. Well, yeah, man. Cue that up. That is why we appreciate Jake, and he saves the show every time, man. He is the producer. Honestly, I've never even used a computer until we started this show. But Jake's one of the best. He's well compensated, people. Don't even worry about Jake. And if you want to call in, we are taking your calls on the show, 512-782-WORD.
And I got that Chael post-fight interview ready.
Let's do this, man. Play that shit. Hell.
All right, I'm here with Chael Sonnen. Chael, you're back here. You competed against one of the top competitors in the world. How did it feel to get back out here, man?
Kenny, they tested me, they cleared me, they hired me, they fired me, they drug me through the mud, and I'm still the toughest son of a bitch on 2 feet. a different time. Anderson Silva just left, and I hope he doesn't believe the hype, because 1 feet or 2 feet, spiders have 8 feet, and he and Isaiah believes the same thing. When you give your word, you follow through. Win or lose, the bad guy always makes the walk.
Hell yeah, the bad guy always makes the walk, and he did. Get your Metamoris official walkout t-shirt. How about this plug? Even though I personally hate the designer Ross Finkelstein, follow him on Twitter at Ross Finkelstein. He is my bastard son, but he did officially design Chael Sonnen's walkout t-shirt. You can follow him on Twitter, and you'll trust me, he'll let you know how to buy the damn thing. God bless you, Ross. He was toying with the idea of calling in. I hope he does. I hope he does.
Use the promo code Jew.
That's right. He is the best Jew in the business still. I'll begrudgingly admit that. He is my son. I did have an affair with his mother, Rose Finkelstein. God bless her. Moving on to the MMA topic that rocked the world today. People don't believe it. Everybody's upset. A lot of people already had trips booked, but as usual, John Jones comes around and screws it all up for them again, just like UFC 151, UFC 177, 178 against Cormier, canceled, effective, pretty much canceled as far as their event goes. They're moving on. They ain't gonna fight this year. It's sad. I feel bad, but I did call it 7 days ago. It's documented. Check the Twitters. I already had the word on the street that John Jones was injured during the brawl with Daniel Cormier, the famous brawl now. The thing that all of a sudden does not mean anything at all anymore. But I did call it. He was hurt, injured. He finally had to cop to it, pull out of the fight. Mr. Jake from the MMA podcast, man. I know you guys never know what to believe me on and what to accept. But I'm sure this came as a surprise to you, probably. What is your take? What's the hot take on John Jones out of the fight?
Honestly, man, like, a lot of the things you say after fights, as far as things being works, I don't exactly agree with. But when it comes to little things like during a fight, like, oh, it looks like so-and-so hurt their left hand. Oh, at the weigh-ins, it looks like so-and-so just doesn't have it. They look sort of injured. And you were talking about Jones getting an injury during the fight and sort of walking around funny. And I don't know. I'll call you on your shit whenever I think you're coming up with something crazy. But this, like, you did say that Jones was injured and the fight was going to be called like a week ago. So I got to give you props there. As far as Jones, being a pussy and people are saying this and that and, oh, he doesn't want to fight him. I mean, they're going to fight. So I think it's a real injury. I also think other fighters probably would have trained through it and not canceled the fight, because this might, people are saying that 178, even though it's a deep card, I've heard whispers that it might get canceled because the thing that they were selling everyone on was Jones versus Cormier, and now the main event is Mighty Mouse versus Carriasso, which looks like the UFC won't cancel it, although a lot of fans were saying that you should. Mighty Mouse versus Carriasso, I mean, Johnson is probably one of the pound for pound best, 1, 2, 3 best, one of the kings of just dominating his weight class. But the fight, fighting Chris Carriasso, who was given 2 tests at flyweight and failed them both and hasn't really beat anybody of note. this is not really going to be that great of a fight at all. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it going down. I think it's going down January 3rd now, but it's just very, very disappointing. This is the fight I've wanted to see so bad for the last 2-3 years. So the fact we have to wait a few more months, it's just like, come on.
It's a damn shame, man. Instead of seeing the damn Gandalf versus Saruman, we're now watching another Hobbit fight. Nothing against DJ Mighty Mouse. I love him to death. Shout out. But you know what I mean. This is it was hard. Any fight was gonna not look good compared to the one that was already set up. I mean, Jones versus DC. It was hot. It was popping. National media attention. But Coach Jamie Huey, John Jones, apparently you kind of know the guy. He's my toe. I'm not ready for the fight with Chael. My ankle, my meniscus. He's canceling. What do you think, man? If the injury was legit, this fight wasn't happening until the end of September. Do you think he should have called it? I mean, have you seen people fight through worse? What's your take on John Jones pulling out injured, ruining the most anticipated fight of the year for the UFC once again?
Everybody's injured. I mean, nobody goes into a fight 100%. If you wait till you're 100% to fight, you'll never go. You know, Chael said something to me one time I never forgot. He said, you don't go when you're ready, you go when it's your turn. And I know him and Uriah and Kelvin and a lot of guys that I've worked with have all fought through injuries. You know, Kelvin, when Kelvin fought Brian Melenkov, I believe he was. We were at Extreme Couture, and he was rolling with Bristol Mundine, and Bristol kind of picked him up and put him down, and Kelvin came down on a rib, and he was out of training for a good week leading up to that Brian Melenkov fight. And, you can make excuses. You could show up. I mean, my first pro fight, I had my rib was hurt, and my second pro fight, I had poison oak 2 weeks leading up to the fight. I mean, you got to get through it. And you got to show up. When the bell rings, you got to be standing there. So, I don't know the severity of John Jones's injuries. If they're legitimate, then it is what it is. But, you see Uriah Hall went out there with a broken toe and, freaking bones sticking out, and he still went 2 rounds. I'm not criticizing John, but it's unfortunate because that was that fight was intriguing because they were marketing it so well. There was an article I read today, Barrow was talking about Colin McGregor, and he was like, I know what the guy's doing. He's marketing the fight. He's kind of, taking a note from Chael Sonnen, and he's marketing the fight, and he's saying stuff, and he's jumping ahead in line was the word that he used, the phrase that he used. He's jumping ahead in line by marketing himself and talking. And you know what? Good for him. All these guys that want to sit back and be quiet and wait for their title shot. It's like, don't wait for it to happen. Make it happen. So, it's unfortunate because that's exactly what was happening in this fight they weren't jumping line in the sense that obviously he's fighting for a title against John Jones, but, it was really drawing fan interest. It's like, I don't get some of these guys. I mean, I never competed at the level these guys did, but these guys, some of them, they just sit back and they criticize the guys that are taking cuts, but they're not taking cuts. They're really kind of earning their opportunity to fight for those belts because they're selling tickets. And I think I can't remember who it was. It was Oscar De La Hoya, or maybe it was Floyd Mayweather. But anyway, at some point they were criticizing De La Hoya because he was making all the money, and the guys that he was fighting, Shane Mosley was ranked higher or whatever it was, but Oscar was making the majority of the money. And the whole point of it was, your paycheck isn't based on where you are ranked as much as how many asses do you plant in those seats when you fight. Muhammad Ali got it, Chael got it, you got to sell the fight. And for the first time, I mean, John in this Cormier fight was like intriguing. It's like, they get in a fist fight at the weigh-ins. They're talking smack. They got John on camera in between interviews and, the little thing that went back. So they were doing a hell of a job marketing the fight. You know, they definitely had the fan interest, and for John to get injured, it's unfortunate because this really would have been a big one of those mega fights. You know, one of the bigger ones that would have intrigued people, would have sold a lot of tickets. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is a damn shame, man. Once again, but John Jones, come on, man, put it together. I understand you don't want to risk the belt. You can't afford to lose to Daniel Cormier. But dude, the champ has to. You have to defend the belt. I'm sorry. Too many times he's just with his demands, his changes, his pulling out, his injuries, his excuses. That's not how you do it, man. Coming in from Twitter, Kush MMA tweeting, "Fuck, Jones is such a ducking, diving, dodging little bitch. How the fuck is he still in the UFC?" With 4 question marks. Thank you, Kush, man. That's a good take. It's a hot take. And that is actually a new segment that we're doing on the show. Let's get to it right now. This is the newest segment on the Word in the Street podcast. It's Hot Take of the Week. If you got a hot take on pretty much anything, it's time. You're damn right, people. We're bringing back the New World Order. Hot takes, people. All day. In your face. The hot take, let's go ahead and talk about War Machine being hunted by Dog the Bounty Hunter. Of course, there's a $10,000 reward out for War Machine after he beat his girlfriend, his porn star girlfriend. Arguably was about to kill her, attempted to kill her. Now he's on the run. I did try to get him to kill himself yesterday. I failed, and I apologize to everyone, to humanity itself. If you're listening, War Machine, it's not too late. You can always take your life at any point. It's not too late. You still have a chance, and don't do it for us. Do it for you. Apparently, someone's trying to save his life. Dog the Bounty Hunter announced publicly, loudly, multiple times. TMZ, CNN. Dog the Bounty Hunter himself is going after War Machine. Okay, the background music is a little nuts. He's going after War Machine. But it should be noted that the dog himself has been the victim of public hatred himself. Jake, I believe you have an alternate clip that you can play. Just before we get to the hot take, which I'm sure is coming from either Coach or Jake.
I have tons of takes. Also, I've yet to figure it out, but it comes through a lot louder on your end than it does on the recordings end. So I'm watching line 1, and the music isn't very loud at all. But for all 3 of us, it is pretty fucking loud.
It felt like when you're trying to talk to a friend at a rock concert. Like that's what it sounded like and felt like to me.
I think I got it figured out toward the end. I just gotta mute my Skype mic or turn it down a little bit.
No, it's all good, man. I understand, man. That's production, people. Actual production. You won't get that on Ariel's podcast. You can tell him I said that. But yeah, hot take here, man. Jake, before we break down Dog actually going after War Machine, a little bit of background on Dog the Bounty Hunter that must be pointed out, all right? He did take some public heat himself, so he probably knows what it's like to have the whole internet against you, because a couple years ago, Dog was fired from his show for when a racist phone call leaked all over the internet. And I believe
he was super. Yeah, I think the context of it was him being like mad at his son for dating a black girl or something.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, found out his son was dating a black woman, and he demanded that they break up and he not see her again, or basically he threatened to disown him. And well, you can hear it for yourself, because
he used He used quite a bit of interesting vocabulary. We got the clip here now, and I'll play it.
I don't care if she's a Mexican, a whore, whatever. It's not because she's black. It's because we use the word nigger sometimes here. I'm not going to take a chance ever in life of losing everything I've worked for 30 years because some fucking nigger heard us say nigger and turned us into the Inquirer magazine. Our career is over. I'm not taking that chance at all. Never in life. Never. Never. If Lisa was dating a nigger, we would all say, fuck you. And you know that. If Lisa brought a black guy home, yeah, it's not that they're black. It's none of that. It's that we use the word nigger. We don't mean you fucking scum nigger without a soul. We don't mean that shit. But America would think we mean that. And we're not taking a chance on losing everything we got over a racial slur. Because our son goes with the girl like that. I can't do that, Tucker. You can't expect Gary, Bonnie, Cecily, all them young kids to, because I'm in love for 7 months. I fucked that. So I'll help you get another job, but you cannot work here unless you break up with her and she's out of your life. I can't handle that shit. I got him in the parking lot trying to record us. I got that girl saying she's going to wear a recorder. I don't even know what...
How ironic is that shit?
How stupid is that? Like, seriously, like, because we use that word, we're never going to take a chance of his son dating a black girl. How about you just stop using the word, you freaking idiot? Like, what kind of
it never
kind
even
of
occurred to
dumbass
him.
statement is that? Does this guy get it?
Like, not using the word, which would be the smartest thing, did not ever occur to him for a second.
Yeah, like, that's not an option. We have to say it. So the only other option is to not have any black people around because they might hear us.
It was more ridiculous, the idea of his homies and his friends and family not saying the word.
I've watched the show. I get it, but Dog interjecting himself in this whole thing, I just kind of have a problem with it.
Hot take.
I don't believe I think it's kind of cheap PR for him. I think the greater good is being served because obviously he's got Twitter followers and people follow him, and he's putting the message out there, and it's putting pressure, and people are retweeting it, and it's becoming a spectacle. And there's a $10,000 warrant, and I hope they catch this guy because what he did was pretty shitty. But I just question his motive of why he's doing it. That's my only issue with it.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Well, he's admitted that he does have the full camera crew with him for his show. They are recording and making this into an episode. He's all over social media. He did an interview with what is it, Bloody Elbow, I believe.
Bloodstained Lane.
MMAmania.com. He's doing interviews while he's supposedly hot on the track of War Machine. He's got time to, of course, do press. The investigation continues, of course. War Machine will be brought to justice, I'm confident, or he will be found dead. Even better. Everybody saves money in the long run. Taxpayers. No cops get killed.
Shout out to our boy Eddie Law, Elaw31, who, when I was playing that dog clip, just tweeted us, "What the fuck is wrong with that guy?" LOL.
Jake, why don't you give us your take on the dog hunting War Machine? And for anybody that hasn't heard, what you think about the War Machine fiasco overall? I know you're sick of it day one, but I mean, this is just going to be too ridiculous. I believe that this is just going to be. We haven't seen the end of the story just yet. This guy's going to do something pathetic and stupid. But what's your take, man, on War Machine and the dog?
As far as war goes, Mr. Machine, it's just really disgusting, and the whole Christy Mack thing was so dark. The story she posted was so fucked up, and the pictures are so, they make you angry looking at this poor woman who's been beaten the fuck up. Honestly, the whole dog thing, if anything, it just gives me something to smile about, because everyone, it's just such a dark story, and it's just like horrible, and this guy could kill himself before he turns himself in, this and that, and the whole dog part just gives me, just a shred of pure ridiculousness that dude, it has been a dark week, man. There's shit going on. Robin Williams passes away. In just mainstream sports, the story of the week is famous NASCAR driver Tony Stewart running somebody over and killing them. Like, this 20-year-old kid driver kills him. So it's been a really dark week, and the whole dog thing just gives me something to smile about. This world is too ridiculous, man.
Yeah, it is. On the face of it, it is preposterous that a guy calling himself War Machine is now being tracked by a famous racist hick. When you break it down, you couldn't make it up. Hell yeah, theme of dog.
The criminals are on the run. This show is just so fucking ridiculous, man.
Yep.
I'll hunt you down 'cause I'm the dog.
Have you guys seen the South Park episode,
Yeah.
Cartman's a hallway monitor?
I love that one.
It's the greatest ever.
Yeah, someone posted it earlier, man. I was laughing my ass. He's riding around his little tricycle down the hall.
You're right.
We got it.
I'm the dude.
Dude.
God bless. That's the guy that's gonna find War Machine and be a honestly, he'll be an instant hero on the internet. All will be forgiven. This will even erase the racist thing.
My understanding with the dog is because he's a convicted felon as well. He's obviously not allowed to carry a firearm. That's why you always see him with the mace cans.
Exactly.
And then they got like the
paintball guns.
Paintball gun that's got mace paintballs or something. I don't know War Machine. I've never met the guy. I know a groupie on Twitter that used to mess around with him. I won't mention any names, but maybe I might. But yeah. This guy's not in his right mind. I mean, a dog's gonna bust in with a can of mace, and I mean, if this guy's willing to do that to his girlfriend, you never know how desperate a guy like that is backed into a corner. So,
yep.
I mean, man, it could get worse.
And he is an MMA fighter, but for some reason, he is still allowed to carry a taser. In the interview I was reading earlier tonight, he was talking about it. Actually, a real quick quote. The question was, you don't use lethal force. And Dog replied, for 31 years, I've used non-lethal weapons. My weapons will drop a rhinoceros. Brother, I cannot believe the new stuff they got going on, I'm telling you. I used it the other day, and I was like, oh my God. And this guy was huge, more than 300 pounds. So you don't have to kill him. And he claims he's made over 7,000 arrests. And he's realized that you don't need to use deadly force. And he believes that he can take War Machine out with a giant taser and the help of his MMA training posse. He says they all have extensive backgrounds in various forms of MMA. Dog's crew, the what do they call themselves? The Dog Pack, the clan. I don't know. God bless.
The clan.
I don't know, man. I don't know that world. I don't even think about skin color or race ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, I was going to make a very inappropriate joke, and sometimes I can't stop even myself.
Say it.
You got to hold back sometimes, bro. I almost dropped the ball a minute ago, so sometimes you just got to bite your tongue and wait for the right opportunity.
Yeah, man, it's so easy. That's how it happens, people. That's how people get in trouble, right? And then, I know I'm being recorded right now. I'm not going to pull a Dog but I would never say the things that he said over the air. Anyway, so yeah, man, I think it's gonna end horribly. Do you guys think this ends peacefully? Does anybody believe that War Machine is just gonna give himself up and actually do the right thing for once in his pathetic life? Either of you, any of you? I just want to know your prediction. Let's try to call it. How is it gonna
Oh my God.
What's your? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's mounting a defense on Twitter. He sent tweets out, and, I mean, in a situation like this, it's just like, I mean, where's the guy going to go, right? You guys tattooed from head to toe. He's got cauliflower ears, and he's a guy that in the MMA community didn't know who he is. So obviously he's not going to. He's not going to be like on one of these shows. I almost got away with it and flee to Mexico and open a tortilla bar and start selling tamales on the corner. I mean, this guy's, where is he going to go? The best thing to do is get a lawyer, shut your mouth, and turn yourself in. There's not really any other option.
Jake, what's your prediction? War Machine, the final fate.
I think he moves to Germany, changes his name, becomes a molecular scientist, wins a Nobel Prize for finding a new way to do nuclear fission. I don't know. It's dark.
Renames himself Peace Machine.
Yeah, Peace Machine.
No, if he ends up in Germany, he's got to change his name to Blitzkrieg.
Blitzkrieg Machine.
That is a term for War Machine in German. You heard it here first, people. He is possibly hiding out in Germany under the name Blitzkrieg. Be on the lookout. They should have caught him by now. I got to say, I'm disappointed, and I'm feeling embarrassed for the not only the Las Vegas Police Department but the San Diego Police Department.
He's got to be hiding
really
at. He's got to be hiding at a friend's house or something.
Of course, yeah, it's definitely friends or family harboring him, but that's all the more that just makes him easier to find. And the cops, I mean, this story's gone national, all right, and the pressure's on.
Dr. Drew talking to Jenna Jameson, ridiculous.
On CNN, yep, it went national. This is national news. This is a part where the police hit the panic button, move him to the top of the wanted list, and they haven't done it because they have the resources to capture this man tonight if they wanted to. They're not doing it. It is just, I'm not going to downplay it. I mean, the problem is he didn't kill anybody. That's the problem here. Otherwise, this would have been over that same night. Unfortunately, though, the police are stalling. They're sending in the dog, the bounty hunter. He's going to redeem himself. He's not going to be racist anymore magically. Tristan Morris tweeting, Blitzkrieg means lightning war, dummy.
Yeah, dummy.
Tristan, I'm just going to say this once. You're a son of a bitch. Word on the street. But thanks for tweeting, man. You should call in next time and say it. He is a faggot. I don't know where that was. That wasn't me. That was an audio clip. I don't know. That was weird, people. I don't know what the hell just happened. He is a faggot. I think people are trying to hack into the show. I don't know what's going on. I did lose my phone earlier today. Word on the street. So moving on. Actually, wait. Oh yeah, my prediction. Sorry. War Machine he's not going to do anything smart. Of course, whatever happens, if it's cops or if it's somehow the dog showing up, he is going to resist arrest. I don't think he's going to commit suicide or kill himself because he's so unstable. He would have done it by now. This guy's a psychopath. He wants to live. He's not that crazy. Yeah, I'm going to kill myself. He'll threaten it all day, but he would have done it by now, people. He's too unstable. He's looking
through his timeline on Twitter, he mentioned, some guy said something about them having kids, and then somebody else said they're broken up. And then he tweeted, no, she's my property, and she always will be. And then she has that tattoo property, a War Machine on her back. I mean, just that mentality alone is kind of like there's something wrong with it, right? I mean, you know, nobody's anybody's property. I mean, it's like having a crazy ex-wife that, you know, won't leave you alone or something, you know, and I don't know anything about that, but I have friends that have crazy ex-wives that won't leave them alone. And, you know, that's the type of mentality apparently that they have. So I hear. Kind of weird, man. Kind of weird.
Yeah, she's not your property unless you've made an arrangement and an agreement to purchase her for that night. Shout out to Craigslist, the massage section. People think that it's like, and a lot of people are like kind of gonna listen to this, like, this is fucked up. They're like, he's making light of it, but I'm not, people. Well, I kind of am, but it's just because this is it's so ridiculous. I mean, this is worse than anything that Mayhem's done, Mayhem Miller. This is definitely, well, arguably worse than Thiago Silva busting into the MMA gym with an AK-47 or whatever the hell that was. You know, at least he didn't hurt anybody. Of course, Josh Grisby giving War Machine a run for his money. Let's not forget that. I bet Josh Grisby is just thanking his lucky stars that War Machine did this and took the heat off of his ass for the story that he. And what is this shit? I haven't even seen this idiocy. You're saying Josh Grisby's wife?
Yeah, Josh Grisby's wife has a Facebook which is unfortunately public, and she's not only starting like a fund anything campaign for people to donate money, which I had no problem with that. Like, she wants people to give her money so she can like find somewhere else to move, because I guess she wasn't working and Josh was the one bringing in the money, and now I assume he's in jail and they don't really have an income. And she's also making posts like defending Josh, saying people don't know him and that he's still her husband and he's misunderstood and he's a good guy, and I really hope he can get his shit together, this and that, when it's like, Josh Grisby, like, the shit he did is so psychopathic, like training his dog to attack his fucking wife, like these
Cocaine,
texts,
weed,
and no one's bringing up the fact that there are unsecured guns, cocaine, and weed around like toddlers. These are texts from Josh to Caitlin Grisby. You're fucking dead, and if you even try and bring kids into it, the worse it'll be for you, and try and make a scene. I'll choke you unconscious and smash your throat, and if you get worse and run around after, I'm gonna let Buddy, their bull terrier, have at you and walk out of the room. These other ones don't care, you whore, that's all you think about. You're a fucking scumbag piece of shit who I'm going to enjoy choking to death. The last one, you better not be bluffing about cops, because I don't joke. You're dead when I see you. Literally, I don't care. I'm gonna beat you and throw you to Buddy. You're dead. And you know, it's super sad, because obviously it is this tripwire in Josh Grisby's wife's or ex-wife's, I don't know, in her brain, that's like she's still trying to defend this scumbag who was doing all this shit to her, and she's asking for money, and who knows how long Josh will be in jail. It's I mean, just like the War Machine thing, it's just like super ugly. It's like almost like too depressing to like even really like think about and be like, what the fuck?
It is ridiculous, man. Josh Grisby keeping the guns, cocaine, and pot right by. I mean, whenever I have babies hanging out at my place, I always lock the gun and I hide the weed at least. And I used to have a dog. He ran away. He didn't leave a note or anything, but I don't know. But yeah, I would never train him to hurt other people. It's ridiculous. Davey Boy, our friend Davey on Twitter, tweeting at me, what do you think of Phil Baroni keeping silent about this whole thing with, I'm assuming, War Machine? I actually didn't notice that, but the people hiding War Machine, helping him in quiet acceptance of this, you know.
I don't know if you could call it quiet acceptance. If one of my best friends, if you, Alan, Yao, Ross, any of y'all did this shit, I would be disgusted, and I would be really disappointed that someone I trusted and thought highly of did something like that. But A, I wouldn't let them stay at my place. B, I just wouldn't talk about it because I don't like as shitty as their spot is, I'm not gonna put my best friend on blast until both sides of the story have come out and they've gone to court and everything's happened. And I'm also not going to defend my friend and say, oh well, I'm still siding with my buddy even though he almost beat a girl to death. So I would just stay quiet about it. Phil and John, or Phil and War, were buddies, it seems like. So, I don't know. Like, I really can't blame him for just staying quiet and waiting to see what happens.
Coach Huey, then.
Here's something ironic. The Bloody Elbow just posted a story, or might have posted a little earlier, but War Machine tweeted back in March 10th of 2010, quote, "If Dog the Bounty Hunter came to get me, I'd beat his ass."
I'm seeing that now. Oh, no. Ouch.
So, we'll see what happens.
Somebody might want to let Dog know that, because that could be important information. Whoops. And yeah, I'm seeing it now blow up too. If Dog the Bounty Hunter came to get me, I'd beat his ass. Oh shit!
Look, you know,
that's hilarious.
Dog is no match for a trained athlete. You know, not for a guy that trains. You know, like you mean like him or don't like him, or obviously he's did pretty fucked up thing.
Yeah.
Nobody would, but the guy's a trained fighter. I mean, the guy's in the gym. You know, I assume 5 days, 6 days a week or whatever. I mean, come on, Dog the Bounty Hunter. I mean, he's got long hair, and he's got the flashy clothes and the boots with the gold sprinkles on. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's going to have to have him.
He's like a racist Hogan.
Youngblood and Beth and everybody else, 15 guys in order. I mean, that could end bad.
He's a racist Hogan, basically, a Hulk Hogan of our time. And he did just tweet seconds ago to War Machine. Who knows if he's seen the quote that we were just talking about, but he just tweeted, "Time is up. Beware of the dog."
Oh, geez.
I know.
That'll strike fear in the hearts of men.
And there's a hashtag CMT Dog and Bet.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it just doesn't seem... It doesn't. You can be doing a good thing, but not necessarily the right thing. And I think the overall good, like I said, is being served in the sense that, they're getting awareness out there. They're looking for this guy. So Dog, obviously, he's doing the right thing, but he's not doing it for the right reason. This guy's an attention whore, man. This guy is just,
I agree.
I mean, there's stuff happens every single day, right? How often? Sure, if you go back, look at his Twitter feed, he's not looking at the local newspaper and tweeting out stuff that nobody's ever heard of. He's like the what's the attorney, the female attorney that jumps on every case?
Gloria
Allred, Albright, or not Bright, or whatever.
Gloria Allred.
Allred, okay.
Yeah, Allred. There you go. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just they're I don't know. Like I said, the greater good's being served. I hope they catch this guy. I hope they throw his ass in prison. But I don't know. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Just that tweet alone right there just does it for me.
Time is up. Beware.
The dog
is
coming. Yeah. The dog. It's dog time.
Oh God! I can hear, like, I'm reading the tweet. I can hear Ozzy's theme song like playing to it, man.
You're right. I'm the dog, the big bad dog.
The dog. Thanks, Jim.
The big bad dog. He's not just a dog, he's the big bad dog. So.
Yep, and no mistake. But he, in the interview, he did say that if it came down, he would never fight War Machine like hand to hand. He said he did say War Machine would probably break his nose. That's as much as the dog was willing to concede that he might break his nose. Right?
He didn't say he'd break his like muzzle or anything.
Yeah.
Like he's got to stay in character.
No kidding.
He'd break my snout.
Yeah. How sad would it be if Dog goes home every night and just like takes off a wig and like puts on glasses and like a robe. Oh man, that's what I do.
With a glass of wine.
That's my life.
It was a glorious evening tonight on the street, Beth.
He's really, his life ambition was to be like a scholar or something, but he just
Shakespeare
grew up in a trailer.
Caviar.
His friends would have made fun of him, so he had to go the white trash route.
Dropping the N-word every 15 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he couldn't hang out with his friends that were black, not because he, didn't want to not use the word. Just, it was easier just not to be around him.
Oh God, Dog, man, I love it, man. He's trying to actually do a good thing, but you gotta give him a shit anyway because that is just so ridiculous and over the top. His character. Give me a goddamn break. He's straight out of the WWE, like the $5 bin, dude. But God bless him. Good luck. Hopefully he apprehends.
Hopefully he does catch him. I'm rooting for him to catch him. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I'm still rooting for War Machine to end up dead, though. I got to be honest here with the audience. But yeah, no, I think we've pretty much hit all the points. That is the biggest news going on.
I have one more hot Sprots take before we move on past the hot takes. Yeah. Hell yeah. Let me cue up the music here. There it goes. Man, Josh Barnett. He went pretty hard after you, super hard after Brian. Which the point he kept making was, oh, Brian, you were making this big deal on Twitter, and Chael was trying to get ready for his fight, and you were bothering him. You were taking him off of the fight. Well, Josh, Chael's a big boy. If Chael really had a problem with all that, I think he can voice his own opinion about it. If there's anyone on the planet who doesn't need someone speaking for them, it's Chael Sonnen. So I don't really know what you're going for there other than just trying to make Brian feel bad, which that's cool, I guess. But then he goes after him, Brian and you both, saying that, saying fights are works, that is the worst thing anyone can do, blah, blah, blah. Like, looking at your and Brian's back and forth, it was pretty obvious you were just goofing. Talking about it talking about being a suspicious ending, this and that, making Brian apologize, like, it seemed really petty. But then Brian dropped a bomb on Josh that was that was pretty harsh, and Josh really couldn't respond to. It was after Brian said, "Oh, well, you even joking that our fight was a work, that is so disrespectful to our sport, and you're just trying to bring our sport down." And Brian says simply, which I'm not quoting him directly, I'm sort of paraphrasing him, but he says, as bad as taking steroids? Which I don't know if it's been proven or not, but we all know if he was fighting over in Japan, and I'm pretty sure there are specific fights where, like, he failed a test and he's lied about it and this and that. I honestly don't know enough about it to really nail him on it, but I know it's been talked about. Exactly. Yeah, duh. So, him saying Brian, like, goofing around, calling the fight a work is just this horrible thing to do to the sport. Well, if you live in a glass house, don't throw rocks.
Yeah, but
pot calling the kettle black.
Josh Barnett himself gave me some heat, man. I was getting some heat along with Brian, but he mainly focused it on Brian and
you know, I hate to put Josh on blast because he seems like a really cool person. I'm super glad he's
yeah.
I mean, I'm super glad he's the Metamoris champ. I've seen him on various shows. I think the Steve Austin and the Joe Rogan podcasts seems awesome. But you put two of my close friends on blast, Josh. I'm gonna put you on blast right back.
Appreciate that, man. Well, hopefully everything's cool with me and Josh. I mean, I backed down a little bit. I ate a little bit of crow. I was like, I'm sorry. It seems like I'm insulting you, but
you said you pissed your pants when Josh tweeted you.
Well, who wouldn't? I mean, I'm not gonna. Let's be honest here. This man could kill me if he wanted to. He could end my life. He could find me. He could kill me. And there's nothing I could do about that, even though I am undefeated in combat and minor and major squabbles in street fights. But Josh Barnett, there's a good chance he could kill me. So, yeah, Josh, I just want to say no hard feelings. I just have to call it as I see it. That match was a little suspicious. They grappled for nearly 20 minutes, and in the last 10 seconds, Barnett lands some sort of front choke. And he is declared the Metamoris champion, even though there is no belt. For some weird reason, this was a title fight. All the more reason this had WWE written all over it. And I'm just saying, to me, it looked like a work, people. And no offense to Josh, man. He's an entertainer. I love that. I love works. I love it. Steroids. They should all be legal. Just do what you got to do. I love it. I just want to be entertained.
You were taking TRT on this show for a while, right?
That's true. I actually shot up testosterone live on the air about a year ago. It was great. An hour later, it was like almost like I was like coked out of my mind. It's a classic episode of the MMA podcast. But yeah, man, I have nothing against it. But
really quickly,
I'll send you that link too, Coach.
Before we get off the dog topic, our boy, the MMA Enthusiast, follow him at MMA_enthusiast, and then you got to put another underscore after the enthusiast part. He made a really good point. He tweeted 6 hours ago, saying 6 hours, you're going to get the dog. And then just now he tweeted, time is up, War Machine, beware of the dog. Both of those tweets had a location attached to it. The guy's in Honolulu, Hawaii right now.
Still in
Hawaii.
It literally says, like, pinned to it, Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm pretty sure Mr. Machine is either in Nevada or California, so I guess Beware the Dog starts out with a leisurely 17-hour flight, or however the fuck long it is. Probably shorter than that, probably like 8 or 9 hours, but still.
Front Row Brian actually just tweeted that he had got information that dog actually caught War Machine. And then he put no joke. So I don't know who the story just keeps evolving.
FRB might have gotten some bad info. It happens from time to time. It's happened to me, except that's why at this point, the word in the street, I use my own deduction and reasoning and logic, and my superior intellect to break down and predict things before they even happen. No, I'm not from the future. Don't ever think that for one moment. I won't entertain the question. All right. But yes, that's how I knew that John Jones was injured. I am from the future. But yeah, man, I think FRB was a little bit premature on this one. War Machine's still at large. Dog's still tweeting out through his official channel, like, if you have tips, tweet me. Like, it's a whole, like, it's like a contest at this point. It doesn't surprise me that he's still in Hawaii, man. But who knows? Maybe he'll send his sons over or something. War Machine is rumored to be in San Diego.
I'm sure he's picked up a few. He's picked up a few Twitter followers.
Yeah. These
along
people,
the way.
Yeah, they all stick together.
I know somebody else on Twitter that made a comment, and it kind of got a little bit of traction, and her in trouble, and then all of a sudden I noticed your Twitter followers kept going up. So it's you got to be got to be aware of these things.
Yeah, I literally just followed Dog like 20 minutes ago. I'm not lying.
Yeah, me too. Yesterday.
So there you go. It's working. But I love it because it's so ridiculous. Life is ridiculous. The Word in the Street podcast is ridiculous. MMA itself, the sport, is ridiculous when you break it down. It's two guys getting locked into a cage in the year 2014 and just seeing who can remain conscious the longest or who gives up. But that's why we love the damn sport. That's why we're doing this, people. Any other hot takes, any other news topics that you want to hit on? Again, Josh, man, love you, respect you. I'm always a fan, actually. But in my opinion, that was a work, people. Word on the street. Jake, you got anything else? If not, tell these people where they can find you, listen to you, follow you, worship you, solicit you with their bodies.
That's right. If you want to solicit me with your body, follow me on Twitter at the MMA Podcast. Really just thankful for all the people who've come on the show, tweet us and everything. We hit number 100 last night, and we're going to keep going until we hit 1,000 people. The MMApodcast.com. Coach, I love you. Ramses, I love you. We're out of this bitch.
Hell yeah, people. Coach Huey, where can people find you and contact you on Twitter? And this is the first time you've actually made it through an entire show. It was a short show, but at the same time, it was a long one for you. I appreciate your time as always. Even after we fake end this, hang on after the call. I just want you to get a taste of what that is like. But yeah, Coach, for right now, where can people find you and contact you?
Twitter, at Coach Jamie Huey. Extreme Tour, give me a call, come down, drop in, try one of our classes. And I want to give a special shout out to my sponsors, Microtouch One, Razor Blades. I've started a personal fight against all the other manufacturers of razor blades. And I'm not just saying that because Microtouch One is paying me a ton of money. That has absolutely nothing to do with why I'm saying this. And I've actually got a great story that I'll share with you guys next podcast.
Excellent. A teaser. That's how you end a show, people. We will go out on that. Jamie Huey's going to have some breaking news, a good story for you next time. Tune in next Tuesday to the Word in the Street podcast. Follow me on Twitter, The Aunt Jimmy Show. We thank you for listening tonight. Tweet us. Do whatever you got to do. War Machine, kill yourself. Word on the street. See you next time. Coach, hang on the line. We are out.
When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna set it for you real quick. LOB.